there was a headline and news that 700 dildos were removed from Diddy's house. The talks, statements, and so on continued to grow with all the developments. Let's take a look at this subject a little, the statements and the news that came out. What was the PAF said incident and what wasn't? First of all, this incident has actually been known since 2004. The reason it only broke out this year is the Kessie we see in the visual. In other words, the hip-hop artist Kessie, who he was with from about 2007 to 2019, also known as Cassandra V. It started when his ex-girlfriend, after his exit in 2007, started an emotional relationship with Kessie in this process. Of course, Puff Diddy is married, Kim Porla, there is a cheating scandal with the mother of the children, etc. I won't go into that. Then Kessie's career starts to progress rapidly, just like Rihanna and Beyoncé, as we are used to from other celebrities in the Hollywood world. In fact, they paint us such a flawless, perfect relationship until 2019. In 2019, Kessie filed a lawsuit against Puff Diddy, stating that she could no longer stand his violence and that she was constantly forced to have sex with different people, especially through fuss, that money was earned from her, videos were shot, that these video recordings were sold, and that she was forced into prostitution. After this, she filed a lawsuit against her boyfriend, and of course, there was some speculation in the media. The biggest of these speculations is that after the cut, 602 more victims became partners in the case by hiding their names. When this case was first shared with the press in 2019, of course, it remained as a claim, but here is that image from the LS hotel, her chasing Kessie naked in her hotel room, the violence she was subjected to in a way that was obvious to the cameras, the violence she applied to her, wrapped Kessie in a blanket, and said that you will continue to work for me. You will tell me that you love me very much. A scene from 2016. In the meantime, all hell breaks loose in the media. 50 Cent is bringing this incident to the agenda a lot, because he has had an endless feud with him for 15 years. He even announced that he prepared a Netflix document for this. Today, the public is demanding a raid on his own house one by one. Especially on social media, Patty's mansion in California is raided, but when they go to the mansion, there are about 60 employees, 7 children, including his biological children, and his assistants in his house, except for Puffy. Then they learn that Puffin is not in California. This time, they go to his summer house in Malibu. When they go to his summer house, they see that he is not in Malibu. This time, they receive news that he is vacationing on a Caribbean island in the Caribbean. The police, especially the FBI and CII, are working together. This is a very, very troubling issue. When they go to the Caribbean, they cannot find Puffin. Since there are many places to stay all over the world, then this subject is very interesting. Please do not think of politicians who attend parties called shows as just Hollywood celebrities. Politicians, princes, priests, sons of popes, that is, people from many walks of life attend. In 2001, at the birthday party she organized in Paris, 7 14-year-old young and innocent girls were seen at the party, and this situation could not be explained for years. Especially this. Naomi immediately made a video in 2021. She says that she never knew these girls, their names were never mentioned in the case files, they had nothing to do with Epstein, they only mentioned a glass of something once or twice. But those 7 14-year-old girls, they reach the media and start giving interviews. They kidnapped us in San Francisco, they brought us here, we did not know why we were here, and, with the secret. Billionaires served point. In fact, 7 underage girls who attended Naomi Sell's birthday party are revealed. When he was not found in the day hotel raid in the Caribbean, this time he receives a tip from Bora Bora. I think all of this was learned in advance. Puffy goes to Bora Bora by FBI agents and they can't find him in Bora Bora either. Lastly, a raid is carried out in his house in New York. In other words, he is taken into custody. The investigation of the case actually starts to progress in a troubled way that day, because the FBI presents all the reports that emerge to the press in a public way. Let's examine the blood-curdling products that unfortunately came out of the warehouse of his house in New York. First of all, this is a warehouse with 4 entrances. Some of these images are in this warehouse. 1781 pieces of baby oil, 1,500 pieces of sex toys, 14.5 kilograms of banned substances, 512 pieces of wigs, more than 4,500 pieces of fantasy clothing, more than 1,600 pieces of sex tapes. All of these have been duplicated and are usually rumored to have been shot with underage celebrities, such as Hani. There are 250 electroshock devices, nearly 1,200 cameras, 1112 stockpiled antidepressants, and 50 Bibles. I found an interview he gave in 2018. It is interesting that he says he is a Catholic Christian. The party called the show. Unfortunately, he reaches these people through a calendar in his hand. There are 10,000 innocent people in this calendar. Unfortunately, it is said that 70% of these people are children. By the way, it is really blood-curdling. Even when I talk, my hands are shaking while researching. It was very bad. Where in the world do these secret billionaires live now? It is not yet clear, but the parties are usually organized in California, Luxembourg, China, and France. In other words, open-to-air parties decorate billboards and say, "Poof, he is coming here." Posters are published. Everyone is aware of the parties. The worst part is that everyone has been in control of these parties for 20 years and has not taken any action. In other words, all the celebrities know, the employees know, the officials know, their close family knows. Everyone in the world is aware of the brutality that is happening here. At these parties called freak shows, unfortunately, underage child celebrities are forced to have sex with heterosexual men. That is, heterosexual men are forced to have sex with heterosexual men. That is, customers, that is the worst part of the job. This is really, unfortunately, there are people in our world who have given their hearts to this and can spend millions of dollars for it, and people come from the other side of the world and watch them instantly. Does Justin Bieber also attend these parties? There is even such an interview with Puffin. Justin hasn't come to your brother's parties for a while. He says, "Look, I'm waiting again." Justin Bieber was obviously raped. Justin Bieber was actually a 15-year-old child born in Canada 15 years ago. He was brought to New York by his family. His father, who did not see his mother and father, was involved in a lot of crimes. His mother also came from a family that worked in a pizza restaurant and was in a difficult situation. He was discovered by Usher at the age of 12 thanks to a video he uploaded to YouTube. Here is Usher's name. I am especially drawing a red line because Usher is also like Justin Bieber. In 1999, when he was only 14 years old, his family handed over his guardianship to Puff Diddy with his own signature and the signature of his family. Here is his first single when he was 17. Here is what comes to this day. Last year, as you know, he took on the Super BDA halftime show, so it is a great career. The same thing happens with Justin Bieber. Usher reaches out to Justin Bieber and he hands over his guardianship to Usher thanks to the video, "Kids Famous." As far as I understand, he says he will make you famous, but you will also attend these parties. I guess like this, "I am the producer, I am the one who makes the May image fracture, I am giving you this enchanting life, and you owe me. Everything must have a price." He is preparing the party network. So, the interesting thing there is that he does this so openly that if I do these things so openly, no one will suspect me. Even though the guy is openly telling the kid about his bargaining. A troubling video because after that, Justin Bieber becomes a superstar with the biggest fan group in the world at that time. After that, he starts to see that Justin Bieber's psychology is slowly disappearing. First, in 2018, blackout comes from a Diddy party. So when he wakes up from the party, his mind is not completely himself. And now there are bruises on his body from whatever was given to the child. The next day, CNBC gives the following interview. "Yes, I use drugs. Unfortunately, I am addicted, and I had my first drug experience in 2012 at the Rick Ross and Puffin party. He touches his breasts, touches his neck, touches his chin, touches his belly button. In other words, he looks at him as if he has a voice recorder on his body. You haven't been coming for a long time. Aren't you attending parties anymore? Is there a problem? Are we not best friends anymore?" He says something like this. Justin Bieber is already uncomfortable in the video. He has been organizing this party every month since 2004. There is a white party, there is a black party, there is a pink party, there is a freak of party, there are fetish parties. It is said that there is a 602-page case file, and 112 pages of this case file are actually being processed. This list also includes the current list of been beyond, and says. An artist 50 Cent, actually when he started to blow up the Poof events during the pandemic, he gave an interview and made a sentence like this, "So, they invited me to a party. It was the party of the man who produced it, and everything was very interesting. Then the party suddenly ended. People entered the party area with their cars and left the party area, and 15 people remained in the area. Actually, I am deliberately shedding light on these 15 people, because his security guards especially say that 15 people gathered in the area at the end of the party. Of course, Beyoncé and Jay-Z are one of these 15 people. There are really terrible speculations about them, but right now, if I have to explain some of it, Dabab makes a statement like this. At the end of the party, Beyoncé came and said, "I love you and your work very much. Thank you for coming to this company. Let's do business together. Definitely come to these parties, especially the one in Florence." And the baby makes a reference like come, and the baby says this. When the woman I admired the most in my life suddenly came to me and said, "I love you very much. I love your work very much," and when she offered me an invitation to come back to the party next week, I also came to the point of attending. I mean, we are talking about Beyoncé, we are talking about Jay-Z, we are talking about the media. My eyes were painted very quickly, and I was dragged into the bowl like this, she says. Apart from that, there is Oprah, who shocked me the most. We are talking about a program producer who actually made a lot of people empathize with the harassment statement she made in 2000, and who really became the bestseller in the world. Especially, it is really scary that a woman who never keeps quiet about these issues is attending these parties. But there is something else. I guess the parties are different. Some are just people drinking and dancing. Maybe nothing strange happens at first, but those freaks start after an hour. I guess some agree. Not all of them agree, as far as I understand. I mean, she doesn't know, for example. It may be. But there is no such thing as not knowing about this situation. Everyone in the sector has been very familiar with these freak of parties since 2004. Everyone knows this. I mean, I don't know if she participated in the pedophilia sexy aspect of the business, but Oprah, you can reach the party footage about 110 times with a small search on Google. Daily Touch week came out with the news. In that news, actually, this 1781 piece. Baby oil was probably used to facilitate child abuse and rape, otherwise it is a normal thing in life. Well, according to Touch Daily Life's news, there was a liquid ecstasy mixture in the baby oil. So this is not just a baby oil disguised as baby oil, it has liquefied ecstasy in it, and I don't know exactly what it is, but it is a baby oil formula mixed with a narcotic substance. When applied to the body, it actually makes people have a performance-enhancing feature. It is sticky and slippery, and when applied too much, if cold water is not consumed, people have seizures. So none of the baby oil in this image is real. Pure baby oil. Also, according to Touch Daily Life, there is a news story that the reason they use baby oil in this area is because it is stuck to their bodies because of the slippery floor, which is the appetizer of these parties, so that they do not slip and fall and do not exceed their security. That is, they cannot leave the party area. Yes, imagine something like a tournament area. People are watching them from above. Those who want to participate are participating. It's really scary. In prison, he's been in prison for a week, he's denying it. He probably says it's not true, or anything. He probably hasn't eaten or drunk water for 4 days. He absolutely denies it. His lawyer released a statement this morning. If people are asking, he's so innocent because his family made a statement, he's innocent, his 7 biological children made a statement, our father is innocent, his friend started to do it, he's innocent. So many names started to make statements that he's innocent. While everyone from the sector says he's innocent, naturally his lawyer made a statement like this. Everyone is telling me why Dyden has thousands of baby oil in his house. The reason for this is that he's a shopping addict. It's really crazy. A crazy explanation. He's a shopping addict and he stocks up on every item he buys. He buys 1,000 toothbrushes. He buys 1,000 toilet papers. He buys 1,000 sunscreens. The reason for this baby oil is that it is such a ridiculous explanation that I would have believed it even more if he had said, "I put baby oil on my body after taking a shower." I couldn't believe this explanation. Why would an adult, a 60-year-old man, keep 1780 baby oils in his warehouse? Why do we already know that there are about 600 of his ex-girlfriends who have already filed a complaint? There are images that have emerged, about 600 names are later coming out and complaining about me harassing him. Justin Bieber never talks about the subject, because he talked a lot in his time, and unfortunately, none of us could really understand him. Also, Kim Card's name is mentioned. There are allegations that the Puff household is recording the video recordings of the people he is with, recording the voice recordings, and somehow, there are allegations that many people are named in the file. Who is guilty, will be revealed in the end, but considering the current situation, there are terrible allegations.